Moving on to the first 4 preseason games for the Miami Dolphins. They look to take on the Tampa Bay Bucks in a wet and rainy showdown. Both teams missed the playoffs last season and looks to rebound. The Dolphins look to capture their first victory against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This team has a lot of potential and was favored to make the playoffs last year but ended up falling short. It is also good to note that this is Ryan Tannehill's first preseason game and first game in general after the 2016 knee injury against the Arizona Cardinals. Tannehill is currently rated a 78 overall, 92 throw power, 81 mid accuracy, and 78 awareness. In the bottom right screen, you're able to see stats from each of the preseason games the Miami Dolphins have played. But moving back on to Ryan Tannehill, he struggled early and Coach Newman was not impressed with his performance. He used his leg better than his arms and had a couple of overthrown passes. Although it was wet and rainy, Newman expected more from Ryan Tannehill. Tannehill didn't impress him, nor did he disappoint him. He kind of reminded him of the Tannehill from the 2016 season and even the season before that. Newman also wanted to make it clear that the quarterback starting position is up for grabs. All 4 quarterbacks have the same chances of starting. Bryce Petty, Ryan Tannehill, Brock Osweiler, and even David Fales have the chance to start at the Week 1 opener. The Dolphins were impressed with David Fales last season and looks for him to challenge Ryan Tannehill for that starting position. Transitioning to the Miami Dolphins defense, along with Ryan Tannehill, the first team defense struggled as well. They allowed 14 points in the first quarter. As the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were looking to score their third touchdown of the quarter, Tony LaPet picked off a pass from Jameis Winston and gave the Dolphins defense some life. The Dolphins were then able to drive into field goal range, but a kick from Jason Sanders missed it far and to the right. Remember, this was his first NFL kick, so he has a lot more growing time and a lot more learning time ahead of him. With the first team out of the way and entering the second team, David Fales also entered the game and made his presence known quickly. Fales looked impressive his first preseason game, connecting on a post route to Albert Wilson and here to Scott, who was stopped at the 1-yard line. Fales was unable to score in the red zone, but a chip shot here from Jason Sanders made the game 21-3 heading into halftime. The Dolphins coaching staff was so impressed with David Fales that they kept him into the second half and even late into the fourth quarter. Here late in the third quarter, David Fales fined Albert Wilson for a touchdown, the first touchdown of the preseason for the Miami Dolphins. Fales was not the only person to look impressive in their preseason debut. The second team defense for the Miami Dolphins also looked impressive. They harassed the quarterback and forced many turnovers. Quarterback Ryan Patrick was harassed by the second team Dolphins defense all day. A fumble here and an interception there gave the Dolphins a chance to win the game. With the Dolphins defense holding strong in the second half, Fales was put in the position to score multiple touchdowns. An interception here from Xavier Howard put the Dolphins in great field goal position and scoring position to help the Dolphins dwindle that lead. With Fales unable to put points up on the board, the Dolphins then turned to quarterback Brock Osweiler, who handed the ball off here to Sonoris Perry for an easy touchdown, making the game 24-17, and the Dolphins still have a chance to win the game. With a failed onside attempt and a failed field goal attempt from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Dolphins were right in scoring position, but quarterback Brock Osweiler drops back and throws an interception to end the game. The Dolphins did not perform too well and look to rebound in Week 2 against the Carolina Panthers. The Miami Dolphins, now 0-1, will face the Carolina Panthers. Quarterback Ryan Tannehill did not impress the coaches, nor did he impress himself, and is looking to turn things around here. The Miami Dolphins' first-team defense will also have to face former MVP Cam Newton. The Dolphins struggled last game against Jameis Winston and look to turn things around here. With a 0-0 quarter with 5 minutes left, the Miami Dolphins offense and Ryan Tannehill get something cooking. An out route for a first down to Kenny Stills gets the Dolphins in field goal range, but they are not able to score a touchdown. Ryan Tannehill's deep ball accuracy is a concern for Newman as well, as the Dolphins will look to throw the ball deep to score big touchdowns in short drives. Kicker Jason Sanders comes onto the field to attempt a field goal and puts the Dolphins up 3-0. It is also to be noted that Jason Sanders is in a kicking battle with kicker Patrick Murray out of Fordham. Now entering the second half, with the Dolphins defense holding strong, but Ryan Tannehill and the Dolphins offense only putting up 6 points, David Fales looks to take over the game. A beautiful pass from Fales to Albert Wilson puts the Dolphins in great scoring position. Fales is continuing his performance off of last game and is really impressing the Dolphins coaching staff. Here, David Fales rolls out of the pocket and finds his tight end AJ Derby for a first down and to put the Dolphins into scoring position. With Fales unable to score a touchdown, the Dolphins then turn to kicker Patrick Murray. This is his first kick attempt in the preseason, and it is good. Fales still in the game late into the third quarter. The other two Dolphins quarterbacks are unhappy. Bryce Petty and Brock Osweiler are unhappy with their playing time and want a chance to prove themselves. But with plays like this from Fales to Albert Wilson, just only increases his playing chances. And here, Kalen Ballage takes this ball to the house and gives the Dolphins the lead, the first lead ever for them in the preseason. The second team Dolphins defense also looked to be right where they left off, harassing the quarterbacks and getting sacks and causing turnovers. Here, Robert Quinn gets pressure and sacks quarterback Gilbert for a loss of yards. The second team Miami Dolphins defense made life hard for Gilbert. Constant pressure in his face and turnovers only gave the Dolphins a better chance of winning the game and helping them secure that first preseason victory. The Dolphins sends another blitz and Gilbert is sacked, but he fumbles the ball, which is recovered by TJ McDonald on the 4-yard line. The Dolphins are in great scoring position here. The Dolphins, still impressed with David Fales, decided to keep him in the game late into the fourth quarter and for the rest of the second half. Fales dropped back here and finds his tight end Escobar for a touchdown, which put the game away and gave the Miami Dolphins their first preseason victory. With the team now being 1-1, they will head back to Miami to face the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens have a tough defense and a beautiful offense that can make the playoffs. Joe Flacco is also on the hot seat, while Lamar Jackson is chasing his position. But for the Dolphins, they struggled this game all around. They didn't really put up any points and the team just looked awful. With this being the third preseason game, the Ravens left their starters in until the fourth quarter. On the other hand, the Miami Dolphins left their guys in until the second half. But it's also to be noted that David Fales took Ryan Tannehill's snaps early in the first quarter, just to see or just to gauge where he is at with the starting unit. With David Fales taking Ryan Tannehill's snaps, that left the other two quarterbacks, Bryce Petty and Brock Osweiler, for a chance to get some playing time against this tough Raven defense. David Fales did struggle in this game, and the Dolphins did turn to both quarterbacks, but none of them really impressed them, and it gave Tannehill the edge over the starting quarterback position. Overall, the team just didn't play too well. David Fales throwing an interception and the defense not holding up to their standards gave the Ravens an easy victory over us in this third preseason game. David Fales connects here with Isaiah Ford on a deep pass, but that was really only the highlight of the game. Injuries also played the Dolphins in this game, as they had 6 injuries in total, and we will get to them at the end of the video. Although David Fales impressive, one person that did look impressive was Kalen Ballage. Here on the screen, he scores a touchdown and makes the game 10-16, giving the Dolphins some life and hope. But that would prove to be unfruitful, as the Ravens would go on to score again, making the game 25-10. Here in this clip, Bryce Petty gets the chance at quarterback, scrambles out with less than 3 minutes left in the fourth with a true chance of coming back into the game, and he makes an ill-advised move and fumble the ball. That basically summed up the third game for the preseason for the Miami Dolphins. After a tough loss against the Ravens, the Miami Dolphins will head to Atlanta to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Ryan Tannehill will not start the game, but in place will be David Fales. Tannehill will be in all 3 quarterbacks with a chance to prove himself. First up is quarterback David Fales, who the Dolphins are really impressed with. David Fales will most likely not start for the Miami Dolphins, but is looking to take that second-string quarterback position. Fales come in as a 67 overall, 85 throw power, 79 mid-accuracy, and 59 awareness. Fales has full confidence that he will be the starter for the Miami Dolphins in the near future if Ryan Tannehill doesn't produce anything. Here on this play, 3rd and 10, Fales rolls out of the pocket and finds his receiver Kenny Stills for a first down and more. David Fales' ability to roll out the pocket and extend the play is what separates him from Brock Osweiler and Bryce Petty. Fales will look to challenge Ryan Tannehill at their starting quarterback position, but the job is most likely secured by Ryan Tannehill. With David Fales going up against the first-string Atlanta defense, he looked quite impressive, stepping up in the pocket here and delivering a dart to Kenny Stills to put us in great scoring position. Fales at some point actually looked like the starter for the Miami Dolphins. David Fales not only have the ability to throw the ball, but also run the ball in as well, as he sneaks in here for a 5-yard rushing touchdown, making the game 7-3 early on. If Ryan Tannehill were to go down, the Miami Dolphins coaching staff fully believes that David Fales can pick right off where he left. The Miami Dolphins offensive coaching staff is looking to have more big plays this season. Here, David Fales throws a deep bomb to Devontae Parker, putting the Dolphins in easy field goal range and scoring range too. Rookie kicker Jason Sanders would then come on and make the game 10-10 as his kick attempt hits the back of the net. The Dolphins defense also struggled against Matt Shaw, making him look like Ryan Tannehill, Broken tackles and blown coverages led to this huge touchdown here, making the game 17-10, Falcons up. David Fells continued to impress the Miami Dolphins coaching staff, rolling out of the pocket here and throwing a deep strike to Isaiah Ford, putting the Dolphins in great scoring position. Brock Osweiler would then come into the game and throw to Isaiah Ford again, for a nice touchdown here. With pressure in his face, Brock Osweiler delivers an absolute strike. The Dolphins would go for the 2-point conversion and get it, making the game 21-24. With Dolphins in great scoring position again, backup kicker Patrick Murray comes on and nails his field goal attempt, making the game 24-24. Brock Osweiler played the majority of the third quarter and one drive into the fourth quarter, while Bryce Petty came into the fourth and tried to do his thing at that quarterback position. Throwing a pick here was not acceptable, and Bryce Petty unfortunately will not make the team for the Miami Dolphins. Bryce Petty, with a chance to redeem himself on the 4th and 4, finds his receiver running across the field with Sean Scott for a first down. The Dolphins are already in great scoring position but do not need a field goal but more so a touchdown. Petty drops back here again and the ball is intercepted. Petty wanted the fade route, but it was just a poorly placed ball. With that being said, the Miami Dolphins fall to 1-3 on the preseason. Darius Newman is not too pleased with his team performance, but is looking forward to the home opener against the Tennessee Titans. Here are the list of injuries that the Miami Dolphins have suffered throughout the preseason. Xavier Howard, Kiko Alonso, Isaac Asiata, Brendo, and Daniel Kilgore will be out for quite some time. Linebacker Kiko Alonso has been cleared to play by team doctors but will not play. The backup linebacker, Garvin, will then take his place at that starting position. The Dolphins need to come as a unit and get ready for that home opener if they want to win. Moving on to the final roster moves, 22 moves were made. 16 players were released and 6 players were assigned to the practice squad. Denoted in yellow are the players assigned to the practice squad. They also have a PS next to their name standing for practice squad. To end this video, we will give you a look at the depth chart. Tune in next time for the next episode of Dolphins Daily, where the Dolphins will take on the Tennessee Titans at their Week 1 home opener.